I've started videos before saying now for something completely different, but this is now something completely different. This is a Hofner, and if you don't know what that is, look it up. It's one of these classic guitar manufacturers. And this is a particular Hofner. This is actually not a guitar, it's a bass. If you know anything about guitars, 4 strings, it's a bass. And no, it's not a violin, but it is indeed called a violin bass. Now, why the heck would I be playing with this right now? Well, I'll tell you, I've actually restored quite a few of these classic Hofners from the 60s, and some of them actually older than that. And unfortunately, I never made a video record of it. Much to my personal loss, I now have no record of those restorations that I've done. I do know they've been played. These are guitars that I restored for someone who's a professional guitarist, and he's played it. In fact, I've seen him playing with some of the ones that I restored, which is always quite a thrill, especially since my playing is absolutely horrendous. So when a friend of mine who owns a music store and a music school and a recording studio said he had one of these old Hofners if I could restore it, I said, yeah, why not? But there's a but. Restoring this is not really a restoration, because this bass has got an enormous amount of history that you simply do not want to do away with by giving it a new facelift. You cannot, well, I believe I cannot strip this thing down and make it look brand new. That's not the point. That's not what I'm trying to do here. And before anybody raises the subject, I'm not an expert at restoring this type of equipment. So what I will do is I will clean it up. I'm going to give it a once over, a very deep cleansing service, like going to a spa. And I'm not going to try and get rid of the wrinkles. I'm not going to try and fill in the chips. That is all patina, that is all history. And this has indeed got a lot of history. This guitar belongs to a gentleman who has been playing guitar or bass all his life. I keep saying guitar. It's a bass guitar. And he has a huge collection of basses, and he has played them, and he's played them pretty hard. As you can tell from looking at some of the dings and scrapes, and well, yeah, and especially now looking at the case, you can see this thing it's done a bit of traveling, it's done a lot of work. And part of this look is what gives it so much value. That is to say that while I will be cleaning every little nook and cranny that probably nobody has been to in a long time, I will not be trying to make this thing look brand new. I think that would be completely stupid on my part, and it would certainly devalue this guitar tremendously. But before I carry on, I want to thank the sponsors of the video, PCBWay. You'll find them at PCBWay.com. And they're the people that do all the PC boards that I use on my projects. They've got some amazing prices and great turnaround time. And the ordering process is incredibly easy. If you want to place an order, just go to Instant Quote over here. And there are various ways of doing it. You can put in the sizes and so on. But I just do a quick order PCB over here. And here you can just add the Gerber. What it does is it brings in that Gerber file, and it actually gives you a view of what that Gerber file is going to look like. If you have any doubts that you got the right file, you can then check it from here. I know this is the correct file. Then you tell them whether you want single pieces or panelized. I normally do just single. There's one design per panel. This is the size that it extracts from the Gerbers that I've produced or imported. You tell them the quantity you want. I normally just go for the minimum. I just use 2 layers. Some more characteristics of the actual board. The quickest one is usually the green, and that's what I use. And if you look up here, it tells you 24 hours. Normally I don't need to provide any more information because mine are pretty standard. And then I go here and I choose the transport. As you can see, I mean, this they can do nothing about. We unfortunately suffer from exorbitant transportation costs, and it creates a temporary outbox which will be subject to confirmation by the people at PCBWay. They will give you the actual final price, and then you confirm your order. Simple as that. In my case, less than a week later, I received my boards, and that is to Portugal. So whatever you need, whether it's the normal PCBs like I use, or if you need any of the other services that they provide, go to PCBWay. I'm sure you find something for your needs. I'll start off by removing just about everything from the guitar, because that's the easiest way to ensure that everything is checked and to clean it up. Now this guitar has got this very unique control panel. It's this sort of mother of pearl. This whole series of Hofners from that era are very similar. If I remember correctly, the guitars had exactly the same controls, and they are always suffering from the same problems, which is dirty switches, dirty contacts. So these things come off. The screws are pretty rusty, so I'm going to have to clean them up. But look inside. This thing looks original. Very, very original. If I'm not mistaken, nothing has been tampered with, nothing's been changed. There's the usual dirt. Those switches need to be very, very carefully cleaned. I've had to actually dismantle some of them in the past. The two pickups are connected in there, and then there's the output. That's basically it. You've got two pickups feeding this control panel. You've got two volume controls, and then you've got three tone shaping switches, which are a little bit stiff. That one especially is stiff. So it should be fine once I clean it up. Okay, let's take the strings off. These tuners are still original and they're in very, very good condition, which is great. Now this is a bit of a tedious chore. You just got to take your time and bring them out. These strings are bass strings, so they're very thick and quite difficult to manage. So you've got to do it carefully or you run the risk of sticking one of those ends into your fingers. Ask me how I know. So I just carry on removing everything that I see that needs cleaning, which really is just about everything. I won't take the tuners out, but if you look at these screws, they are all rusty and I want to use the same ones again, so I'll have to de-rust them, polish them, protect them against future rust, and then put everything back. Also, removing all these things makes it a lot easier to clean because you need to really clean the underside as well. Carry on removing everything, but I noticed that they've used different screws here. So this is a Phillips type screw. I'm not sure that it's original. There's also that little wire that you see there. That little wire comes from the inside. It's connected to ground, and the objective is that it touches all the metal at the back, so everything is grounded, which prevents hum pickup. These things can get very, very noisy if you have any element of the metalwork that is not properly grounded. That screw still looks original, but it's in pretty bad shape, so it'll need the usual treatment as well. Okay, now removing that, we see why it's a good idea to bring it out. That wire that I'm losing, I'll probably have to just create a new one. Now, I want to just check that because let's see if it's connected to ground. I know the pots are grounded. So, yep. At the end, what I do is just touch everything that's ground, make sure that everything is connected properly. Okay. And it ends the way it began. Everything has been very well cleaned. Those screws were removed, de-rusted, polished, protected against future rust. Everything got a little bit of oil. There's an oil that's made for fretboards that I've got, and I polished that as well. The body's been polished up, but nothing abrasive, nothing permanent, nothing damaging. That's the way it's got to be with these things. The pickups, the pickup guards, everything was cleaned up. There was a lot of built up dirt on there. Not so much rust, but just dirt and grime. And then we finally got to the controls, and this was interesting to do, but very anticlimactic to describe because there was nothing wrong with it. It was in its original state, all the components measured fine. The switches worked. I did not have to bring them and break them apart. I just had to clean them and polish them, lubricate them. The knobs were cleaned up, and that's it. It just works. Now, there is a little bit of a mystery about how these switches operate, and they are kind of counterintuitive. I'm going to link below a couple of videos where people describe this. This is the way they were done, but if you're a normal person now picking up this bass, how you switch the pickups is a little bit strange. But links are below. Go and look at them at your leisure. And here's the final result. It does not look new. It's not supposed to look new, but it is supposed to look at its best. This is a Grand Dame that's had some, well, a little bit of a spa visit. And that's as far as we go, because you do not want to mess with the patina. You'll get hit very hard by the owner with something heavier than a bass. So that's where I'm going to leave you for now. Hope you've enjoyed that, and if you have, click like, share, subscribe, and all that jazz. And if you want to support the channel directly, you can do so on Patreon and PayPal. Links are in the description below. Once again, thanks for watching. Bye for now, and most of all, stay safe.